Team comps are a very important thing to know in general, but they are the core fundamental of what will make your team stand out and shine on in the competitive scene. It's what will make you consistently win your games instead of going on losing streaks, and today I'm going to give you a rundown on the synergies that you should be playing with your team, no matter your rank. First team comp is Dive. This is a very common comp in Overwatch League consisting of Winton, Tracer, and Sombra primarily for damage, but in some scenarios D.Va can be used in place for Winton. This is a very effective team comp as long as you're working together as a unit and going in for kills together. It primarily focuses on bypassing the fight up front to take out the backline of supports and range DPS. Winton jumps onto the enemies and slams Bubble, making them unable to damage him, or in the case of Ana, sleep him, while Sombra and Tracer follow up on the flank. Sombra hacks so she does extra damage and disables the enemies from using their abilities for survival, and Tracer deals the extra damage needed to secure the kill in record time. The TTK, time to kill, on this comp is insane. If you're doing it right, the enemy team will crumble near enough instantly. If you're playing support and your team is running this comp, you have a few options. Kiriko can TP to her teammates and secure a lot of healing during the dive because she's always with the team, so she's probably the best to play in this comp. But Baptiste is also a very good pick, as he has basically infinite healing range if you can angle your shots well if you're far away from the dive. But if you've gone in with the Tracer and Sombra, you can heal much more efficiently, as well as deploy invincibility and do your mass heal burst if all of your damage start to get really low at the same time. In Overwatch League, when they run the dive comp, they tend to use Ana for ranged healing debuffs on the enemy, and Nano. But if your aim isn't that good or you're just not confident playing Ana, play over Kiri or Bap. Second team comp is Rush. This consists of a very melee-heavy close quarters team, focusing on using heroes like Reinhardt, Brigitte, or Lucio. It's a pretty straightforward comp. It focuses primarily on the Lucio boosting the Brig and the Ryan so they can get up in the front line's face quickly and secure melee kills, whilst Lucio makes them faster and occasionally switches to healing when the two get low. This is a pretty effective team comp to use if the enemy team are using a fairly ranged set of heroes. You force their team to play close range and in turn render them useless because they can't damage you as efficiently as they can at range. Good DPS heroes to play with this comp are also Tracer and Sombra for the same reasons as they're good in the dive comp, but you could also throw in a Reaper for high damaging and close quarters fights as well as an insane ult. On top of this, he has a lot of survivability because of being able to TP away and fade, as well as regenning health every time he shoots an enemy. London Spitfire play this comp a fair bit because Hardy is an absolute beast on Ryan and can secure a lot of kills as well as utilize big slams, allowing his team to come in and help wipe the enemy team. Last team comp is Poke. This comp focuses on doing chip damage to build ults effectively and slowly pick off the enemy team one by one. This comp isn't as common as the other two as it's very situational and depends on what game mode and what map you're playing on. This comp consists of primarily a Sigma and Zenyatta working in unison, as well as ranged DPS like Hanzo and Ashe to secure kills on discorded enemies. Sigma and Zen working together is near unstoppable. Sigma's Absorb allows the Zenyatta's Harmony Orb to heal him whilst he's unable to take damage from the enemy team in front of him if he doesn't have his shield up. And the damage output of the two on a discorded enemy is wild. The TTK is very fast. Having Hanzo and Ashe in the backline with the secondary support is also very effective as they can pick off enemies without having to get right in the middle of the team fight. Speaking of secondary support, a good set of heroes to play as the secondary support in this team comp are Kiriko, Baptiste, and Ana, as they all have very effective healing, good ults, and abilities that give teammates that are close to dying an instant pickup. On top of this, these heroes can deal a lot of damage at range, especially Baptiste and his ult. This also allows the snipers to secure kills a lot faster. You see this comp played most commonly on Junkertown and Circuit Royale, as the environment allows for perfectly placed heroes to effectively pick off foes and stagger the enemy team. Let's look at a scenario where this comp is at its most effective. Third point on Circuit. Just after you've capped the second point, Sigma and Zen can play in the doorway, chipping away at the enemy team at range whilst their DPS and range support in the backline fire onto the same enemies, allowing them to slowly move up the choke points and eventually secure point 3. In conclusion, a lot of the fundamentals of Overwatch depend on the synergies you and your team are running. You want to work as a unit to secure kills and in turn secure the win, so you should play characters that work well together due to their abilities and ultimates. Utilize this kind of gameplay and you'll see your team go from mid to near unstoppable.